Hello everyone. This video is the second part of the 5-part series about a fictitious family called the Joneses. In the first video, you got to meet the Joneses and how they live. If you are listening to this video and have not heard part 1, I highly recommend you listen to it before going any further with this video. Jesus, I know you want to elaborate on each character. What would you like to say, my king? Jesus began. On the outside looking in, my children, this family seems like they are the ideal family and what most should strive to be. But the very hard truth about them, the Joneses, is that they are headed for hell. I want to share with you what I think of each character, their tendencies, and their choices. Let's start with John. He is a man with many talents, abilities, and he is highly intelligent. But all these qualities are also part of his downfall. John is so efficient in everything he does that the devil has convinced him that he only needs me for 1 hour out of the week on Sunday. John thinks that a man's success is built around 3 things: his bankroll, what he can do on the ball field, and what he can do in the bedroom. An ideology adopted by the world. This is not just John's mindset, but every man that is not close to me. They measure themselves by the world's standards and inherently find themselves partaking in worldly affairs in order to be good in these 3 areas of their lives. John seems like a family man on the surface, and in his mind he is. But a family man is a man after my heart. John doesn't realize that the reason he works so hard is because he doesn't want to deal with the pain of failure and not meeting the unreasonable standards of the world and other males in his past, which have also adopted the ideology to overwork and be successful in everything. This is an emotion that he has never surrendered to me. In not doing so, he finds himself burying the pains and feelings of his past by working day and night to provide excessively for his family. His family gets what they want, and he gets to use work as a coping mechanism and never face his fears and failures. When there's a lot of stress on John, he resorts to drinking alcohol with his friends or a work assignment. Whenever someone is hoping to find relief in something that isn't me, you can be sure that they have a case of idolatry. Not to mention, alcohol is a form of sorcery. Anything that changes the state of your mind and the way you think is sorcery. There is a scripture that John falls on to excuse all of his excessive working. That scripture is Proverbs 13:22, which says, "A good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children, but a sinner's wealth is stored up for the righteous." Many people think of physical wealth when reading this, but there is also a spiritual inheritance that you leave for your kids as well. That inheritance can be blessings or curses, and men are responsible for which one it will be. John is only taking into consideration the physical wealth, and it will only be him and his children's downfall. John has not made me first in his life. Therefore, his children inherently won't either. Isn't it interesting that I said to all my children through the word that it is harder for a rich man to enter into heaven than for a camel to go through the head of a needle? Yet, money and finances is what most people tell their children to chase, and it is something they want to leave an abundance of to their loved ones when they die. None of my words fall void. When you sow the earnest pursuit of money in your family, they will reap its physical benefits, but also the generational curses that come with it. The state of John's mind is a vast majority of all men's thinking, including those within my body. My spirit makes all things new and will show you the way you should be thinking. Remember, the Son of Man had no place to rest his head at night, and my mother said that God leaves the rich empty. Chase my heart, and my heart alone, and you will never find yourself empty like John, filled with worldly passions, earthly pleasures and achievements, but on his way to eternal damnation, or at the very best, a pauper in heaven. Those that have the same mentality as John believe deep down inside that they can work their way to heaven, but his righteous deeds are like filthy rags. I am not just the way, the truth, and the life. I am the only way, the only truth, and the only life by which anyone can enter into my Father's house. That was the end of Jesus' description about John Jones. Stay tuned, everyone, for the third part of this series. God bless you.